Hi guys, my name is Jeff Nixon. I'm one of the developers for Primal Light. I do the art and music for the game. I work on the game with one other person. His name is Shane Zazinski, and he does the programming. He did a short devlog just a few days ago, so I thought it'd be cool to just go through the demo that we released for you guys and just give my insights on it. So this is Krog, the main character, the main protagonist. He's kind of like a celestial tribal god, and he wears a red loincloth to cover his bits. Alright, so this is just the main tutorial area of the game. It's not a Metroidvania, if some of you guys got that impression. I apologize. It's a linear action platformer, and it's pretty tough from what people have been telling us. I didn't think it would be that tough, but when you've been playing your own game day in and day out, you start to kind of lose track of the difficulty. So hopefully in the final game we'll have a more linear progression of difficulty, and it won't be quite so crazy. It's this instant kill lava though, that's what's getting a lot of people and then knocked back into it. These skeletons, which were the first thing I made, like the first enemy I made for the game, they like to knock you back into that lava. So yeah, when I started making this game with Shane, I didn't have any experience whatsoever. I didn't even know how to do pixel art. All the pixel art you see on the screen has been updated and refined over 2.5 years. A lot of the things we started with got scrapped. So this is what we're left with. As you can see, some of the areas are a little glitched out right now, just due to the fact that I'm just playing this through the editor and not through the .x that we released on itch.io. But as you can see, we've got some new stuff in here, like the upward attack, which will definitely be helpful against some of the flying enemies, which some people mentioned were pretty difficult to take on with just the horizontal sword slash. Alright, so we're going to have collectibles in the game that you can just apply to yourself, and will give you a little extra boost going forward. Like this will give you 25 extra coins. And we're still kind of thinking about like all the different things that we can add in terms of collectibles, just cool things that'll make the regular experience more interesting. Okay, so right there we've got our first sabotaging breakable barrel or vase. We like those just because it adds a little extra tension to whenever you interact with a breakable. It's kind of cool, you know, not knowing if you're going to survive it. Alright, so some of the enemies are pretty basic right now. It's just kind of knocking you back. And the flies just kind of fly toward you. But we've got a bunch of enemies in the game, and they're going to all have their own unique function. I'm going to try not to play this too terribly, considering it is my own game. But it is pretty difficult to talk and play the game at the same time, especially when you're not used to it. In the first iteration of the demo, there was lava below me right here, but we tried to get rid of some of the instant kill lavas just because it was giving people a pretty hard time. So right there you can see that the upward attack really helps with some of those situations where you aggro a fly and he's above you, and there's nothing you could do if you didn't have the upward attack. So we like that adds some fairness to it. It also affords us like the extra opportunity to add some interesting like enemy placements in the game that we wouldn't otherwise do. I swear that's not always going to be a bone. Like, it should at least be randomized on most of them, if not all of them. There we go, we're getting coins on that one. Trying to kill this Sith, but failing. It's okay as long as we don't lose all our lives. And these fireballs will have collision in the final game. I'm not sure if that's because the editor just doesn't have the collision enabled right now, or what. Alright, so we're moving along. We're not doing too terrible. Okay, we got a bunch of little hazards in the game. It's gonna give Krog a difficult time if he wants to beat all the bosses. So yeah, once you lose all of your lives, which you can see in the top left-hand corner, you do get a game over, but we're hoping that once people get a better sense of how Krog moves, and once you get some of the ability upgrades, which I'll talk about in just a second, it should make it a little less frustrating, and hopefully you won't get as many game overs once you get that experience. So yeah, these are some spikes. They're not instant kill like the lava. They just kind of poke him. Got your classic breakable falling platform there. So yeah, we're going to have abilities that you can get after some of the bosses, after you defeat some of them. We've got right now a dash, a slide, which allows you to go under like some... That's not supposed to happen. Okay, I was afraid that was a crash. Okay. So yeah, we've got a slide, which allows you to kind of slide under some low ceilings. We've got a dash, and we've got a double jump right now. And see, I definitely don't want to do that again. Let's try to get through this, guys. And once you get those abilities, you'll have some extra obstacles to contend with, just so it doesn't get like too easy. The added mobility there. We also have a roll, as you can see. It gives you a little speed boost, which is going to be useful early on in the game. It also adds to like player expression. You don't have to use it, but it's still kind of cool just to be able to roll through the areas. Almost rolled into lava. Definitely don't want to do that again. You guys are distracting me, so I'm gonna blame it on you. Good news is we're gonna have a lot of coins going forward when we make it to the merchant. There's gonna be a merchant before every boss, and you'll be able to buy lives, extra lives. That way you don't as quickly die on, get game overs. Especially once you've made it all the way to the boss, we want to give players the opportunity to, die on the boss a few times. And yeah, once you get the hang of how he moves and his limitations, the main character, you'll be able to get through some of these objectives a little easier. Especially if you're not talking to a bunch of people at the same time, which is what I'm doing. Screwing up.